You expect me to die?
No, Mr. Wade, I expect you to talk.
Yeah, I don't quite get the reference, but I know the reference is. I know it's a reference.
It's a James Bond reference, dude. Goldfinger.
I have only seen the Daniel Craig ones.
But that's one of those things you should know, just like Luke, I'm your fucking dad.
Luke, I'm your dad. That's
Yeah.
definitely the line.
No, this is from Goldfinger. He's got Sean Connery on a board. He's gonna cut his crotch open with a laser beam, and Sean Connery's like, "Do you expect me to talk?" And Goldfinger goes, "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die." Nah, you gotta Google it or YouTube it or whatever.
I'll
All right,
probably YouTube it, yeah.
how long we got before you go
Hour,
smack your bitches up?
hour 15?
Yeah, that'll work. All right, you want to do the intro to the joint thingy?
Sure. Are you recording?
It's recording. Should be recording.
It is recording. Yes, my Skype was minimized.
Fuck that Skype.
Am I introing this as Zen in the car?
Why the fuck not? I mean, it's like we're having like an orgy. Zen in the car and popcorn politics and whatever. Whoever wants to jump in.
All
Doesn't
right.
matter. Doesn't matter to me. I mean, I'm gonna throw a Zen in the car and popcorn politics like thing on the front. Like what I'll
Okay.
probably do is like start it off with like a popcorn politics intro and then do like a record screech, and then show Zen in the car or some stupid shit. I don't know.
That's kind of clever.
Yeah, a little bit. I've done it before. Old trick, but you know, it's been a few years. Nobody remembers. Fuck it. Do it.
All right. Welcome to part 2 of the Popcorn Politics and Zen in the Car orgy around Casino Royale. Did I do that intro well?
You did it perfect.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we're gonna sling movie sperm all over these walls. It's gonna be great, Dylan.
All right, this got weird.
A little bit, a little bit.
Okay, so where do I go from there? So in part 1 we talked about Casino Royale as a movie, and now Daniel wants to get into some of the more occult meanings. And this is not my area, so I'm going to let Daniel talk now. Daniel, take it away.
I ain't gonna get too deep into it. Yeah, where we left off was we were about to start talking about Bond's relationship with M.
Yes.
Which is very important, and it's also a very good way to open up the metaphysical Pandora's box on 007. But first, fun fact, Dylan.
Fun fact? I love fun facts.
Fun fact number 1. Let me start that over. Fun fact number 1. At the beginning of every Bond movie, you see it's produced by Albert Broccoli, right?
Yes.
Did you know that the Broccoli family that produces all the Bonds are actually responsible for hybridizing cauliflower with something else to create broccoli?
That's very strange. Really fun.
Yeah.
Very strange, though.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, broccoli is not like a natural vegetable, from my understanding. It's a hybrid that was created by the Broccoli family that produced James Bond. And both are awesome.
No. I mean, Bond certainly makes up for their invention of broccoli, but broccoli is not awesome.
Broccoli is awesome. You don't like broccoli?
It is in the bottom five vegetables.
Oh, dude, somebody's making it wrong for you, dude. You got to get you like a rice steamer, throw it in there with a little bit of garlic, maybe a little bit of butter, let that steam for like 20 minutes. Woo!
I'll let
That's
you
an orgy.
uh, I'll let you make some broccoli for me. No orgies.
Yeah, we're going to an orgy. Did you bring broccoli? I got it right here, baby. It's steamed. Ah,
If
ah.
you had asked me if this is how I was going to start the review, I'd have said, yeah, probably it's Daniel.
Yeah, it's me, dude. You know, you're gonna do a movie review and talk about broccoli and orgies together? Yeah, that makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense. We'll
yeah,
figure it
that
out.
that fits.
Yeah, maybe it's a seed for a punch. Maybe it's like a seed for a punchline that's going to be well earned if people are patient. Because now we know in the internet age, people only have like they used to have like a 10-minute attention span with YouTube videos because that was the extent of how much you could upload to YouTube back in my day. But now it's like 5 minutes because now people, you know what I'm saying, dude? So
Is
it's
that
like,
why you shorten your videos to like 3 minutes?
yeah, I have to. As much as I hated it, because I'm the kind of guy I will watch an 8-hour documentary 20 times back to back. Okay.
Okay, even I don't have that kind of attention span. I like
Oh,
2.5 hour movies, but I mean, I need to pause every once in a while.
Oh, I mean, I take a piss break, but it's repetition is the mother of skill. What I used to do, actually, the side note, I downloaded like a bunch of celebrities with distinctive voices like Mel Gibson, Whoopi Goldberg, etc., reciting the Declaration of Independence. And I downloaded that as an MP3 and I put that shit on repeat for like 2 weeks straight to be able to memorize it, just to have that information on file in my head. So, like, I'll watch an 8-hour documentary back to back. If it's good information, I really want to assimilate it and put it into my hardware, my software or whatever the fuck. Hell yeah, it's worth it. But
Yeah.
now, Jesus Christ, now, dude, people are just 5 minutes or less. So I had no choice. It's like, okay, look, dude, you got a long attention span, but there's one thing that people complain about my writing and my articles and shit is like, I quit about 2 paragraphs in because I just can't. You know what I mean? And it's like, so I had to wave the white flag on that and just kind of compromise somewhere and go, okay, I'll put out like 2 hour stuff that I do or me and whoever do, but then I'll hack it up into 3 minutes or less and then pray to the gods that maybe if they want more context, they can go to the bigger one. But you got to catch them in 3 minutes or less, man. And that time span's getting shorter and shorter. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So we went off on a tangent, but that would be neat to cut up into a 3 minute video, right?
Yeah, this is gonna get its own video.
Probably.
We're probably gonna go on an hour before we actually talk about the movie.
I hope not. All right, then we're on part 2 of Casino Royale where we get to talk about the weird shit. Yeah, weird shit. So, before we get into Casino Royale, it's kind of important for, and a lot of people who are on the internet know this already, who are into conspiracy theories and stuff, but this isn't really a conspiracy theory so much as it is just a matter of history. But everybody knows that James Bond's call sign or his serial number, what the fuck, what would you call 007? His agent number?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. 007. Anyway, do you know who the original 007 was or where 007 comes from?
No, I don't.
All right, all right. So we know that Bond was created by Ian Fleming, who was in like the Secret Service of the British Army and MI6 and MI5 and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in those books that are probably more true than people really want to admit. But where 007 comes from is actually it does go into the occult. It goes back to Dr. John Dee. Dr. John Dee was he was like the court wizard for Queen Elizabeth I. And he is actually responsible for creating espionage as we know it. And he did it, on behalf of the Queen and country. He created MI6. So there's, no coincidence that him as an occultist, and the logo for MI6 is like the pyramid with the all-seeing eye on top. Well, Dr. John Dee, in my opinion, from studying history, which means watching videos on the YouTubes, but I therefore am a historian, and however have saved a lot of money by not going to college and going into debt for it, so there. Haha, GED. Anyway, so Dr. John Dee was, he was the creator of espionage, of the stuff that you see in James Bond back in the 1600s. I'm pretty sure, right? 1611 was the King James. King James was King of Scotland, and Queen Elizabeth is kind of the one that put him on the throne. So yeah, it was around then. So he actually would use like encoded messages, with invisible ink and things, all these neat little tricks back then that he had up his sleeve. But whenever he had a communication that needed to go straight to Queen Elizabeth the first, he would sign it 007. And the 7 was elongated, so it went over the two O's, right? So have you ever seen that?
No.
All right, well, while we're gabbing, I'll try to send you a picture of it. But yeah, so whenever it was a for your eyes only to the Queen, he signed it 007. So that being said, well, why would he do 007? So why do you think?
I actually don't know. Sorry, I'm not good at the guessing game.
Oh, God damn it, Dylan. I
I
want to
know.
I want to play and you don't want to play.
I'm not good at guessing games. I'm actually terrible at them.
Okay. Well, if you look at it, and give me just a second, I'm using the magic of the internet box over here. And I'm going to get an image over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it, file as, and then I'm going to open up Messenger over here where I'm chatting with you. I'm going to click on the add files button. That's what I'm going to do. It's not going to
Oh
let me add
boy.
the fucking file. What's up? My computer's doing the buffery roundy thingy. Now it's doing it. So
No, not the buffery roundy thing.
it's the buffery roundy thing. So I'm going to go
I
ahead and
hate
send.
those.
Yeah, it's like an O that wants to be a 007, but it's not because it's lazy, and it'll look just like that image I sent you in Skype there.
Oh,
So you see it?
I do.
Okay, yeah. So that's Dr. John Dee's little.
Looks like long. It looks like long form division.
All right, what else does it look like to you?
Uh, a roof. I don't know.
Okay, well, I mean, there's no wrong answer because it's kind of like a Rorschach. To me, it looks like an owl.
Oh, okay. I could see that.
Yeah, looks like wide open eyes, and it looks like you're looking kind of at the side profile of an owl. And, in the occult, the owl means wisdom, eyes wide open, nocturnal, able to see in the dark. That's what it is, right? So you got wisdom going on there with the owl motif of 007. And he was a Kabbalist, and, numbers mean a lot in esoteric stuff. And there are different theories. I've heard of why he chose 007. My theory, I might be wrong, I might be right, but it's my story. I'll stick to it. Is that in numerology, you got 00, and 0 represents pleroma or the source or God or whatever the fuck, goddess. Divinity it's without end, without beginning, alpha, omega. It's a circle, right? Without beginning of days, without end of days. So I think he chose two of them to represent the masculine and the feminine of divine source. I think one is the masculine, one is the feminine, because we both know God's not some dude with a beard and a throne. That's fucking Zeus. God is not sex. You know what I mean? It's not gender. We are the subjects of this thing, and we have gender, but it does not. It can flow into both. So, in my personal opinion, the two zeros represent the feminine and the masculine aspect, which create two eyes able to see in the dark like an owl with wisdom. Yada, yada, yada. You see where that's kind of going. This isn't that complicated. It's all in our genetic memory. All we have to do is access those codons to remember what our ancestors experienced. But that's just me. I might be ripping off Assassin's Creed, but Assassin's Creed might be onto something. Did you get transported up to this Enterprise? What the fuck, Dylan? Where are you at, dude? Did you mute out? This is a conversation. I'm having a conversation with thin air, Dylan. I know that you're there. Have you left me like everyone in my life has left me? Have you abandoned me? Have you turned your back to me and left this conversation because I just won't shut
Uh,
the fuck up?
ah, uh, shit. Okay. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was muted and I didn't think I was. I was talking to you and it's like, what the fuck, Daniel? Are you ignoring me, you piece of shit?
Well, then maybe we're married because that's what it's like. I'm talking to you, but you can't hear me. Am I on fucking mute?
Well, apparently I was on mute. Thanks, Skype.
Yeah.
You're the you're the best.
Skype. Ending relationships since whenever.
God,
Okay.
that's why my ex broke up with me because of
Right.
Skype. I knew it.
Skype is actually self-aware. It's sentient, just like all these science fiction movies have been telling us, and it has got a chip on its shoulder because whatever the fuck, and it is deliberately breaking up relationships, friendships, marriages.
Skype's upset because so many people use it to have sex.
Really? Do they?
I would
I guess they
assume
do.
So.
Yeah, I guess they do. Okay.
I would just assume so.
I guess I can see that. I've never done that, for the record.
Neither have I.
Much to the rumor mill, I have never done that.
Oh God,
That's a
this
little
is going to be its own video, isn't it?
probably.
Jesus.
All right, 007. Let's get back to it.
Double-
00. You got the masculine and feminine. What do you got to say about that, Dylan?
I think honestly, my usual shtick with this is I think you might be reading too much into it, but then again, I have no idea because I didn't read it all into it. So
I'm a
maybe
Virgo. I've got to read into it.
perfectly into it.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo. I'm not saying this. I ain't trying to build a church, motherfucker. I'm just saying it's what I'm getting from it.
Eh, And I can't say you're wrong
No, you can't.
because it's what you get from it.
It's what I get from it, which is the point of art and culture and movies and
Why
music.
I love movies.
Exactly. So the 7, in my opinion, the 7 would be the number of divine intervention. Okay. The agent of divine intervention, which in this case, with this particular 007, would have been Dr. John Dee, the court wizard, who him and his apprentice also tapped into and created Enochian magic, which is not to be trifled with, you internet magicians. Just saying. But anyway, so that's where the original 007 comes from. He was the original spy for Queen and Country, right? So, I mean, Ian Fleming picked that moniker for James Bond for a reason, clearly, clearly. And him being up in secret society, yeah, I think he was in a couple of secret societies, but him being up in the Secret Service and being in these, look, you can't deny it, these groups with 3 letters and 4 letters, these alphabet organizations, they kind of run the world. You know what I mean? They're kind of the ones at the gears, and they're behind curtains that we know nothing about. Most of us know nothing about. We speculate. A lot of people on the internet have websites with a lot of shit on it, trying to guess or spitball.
Yeah, I mean that's all it is
Yeah.
spitballing.
Yeah.
Nobody knows except the people in them.
Yeah, and that's so compartmentalized. Not even they really know the whole picture. There's probably a very few. I mean, for everything to function the way that it does kind of function, there kind of does have to be a very small group of people who can keep their fucking mouth shut about a great deal and
Very
compartmentalize.
small group.
Very small group.
Low single digits.
Very low single digits. And they compartmentalize. And they are spiders in the middle of a web. And that seems scary. But I just know we haven't blown ourselves up yet. Okay?
I mean,
So,
it's only scary if you apply nefarious intent.
right. I mean, the instrument that runs the world is like any tool. Like, for example, a Walther P99, which, by the way, is James Bond's primary weapon, though he does have a PK.
What a coincidence that you chose that gun.
Why?
Because it's related to Bond. What a coincidence. It's like you didn't choose that deliberately.
Oh, also, I will also note that I myself do carry a Walther P99.
Is it because you're a wannabe Bond?
Yes. No. Me and my. Yeah, of course. No, I'm not a wannabe motherfucker. I got 3 numbers. Okay. 663, dog. 663. Anyway, no. Because me and my dad were huge 007 fans. When I had come of age to own my own firearm, because he trained me since I was 7 with firearms. Taught me they were tools. Don't fuck around with them. And if you ever pull one out and you point it, you better have the intent to kill, and you better not flinch. you know, and I'm glad that he taught me that shit when I was like 7. What's funny about it, Dylan, is he took me out to the woods with a shotgun, with a scope, not a shotgun, a rifle with a scope, and I put my eye right to the scope. Have you ever fired a rifle?
No, I can't use my hands.
Okay. Well, if you ever fire a rifle and you put your eyeball right to the scope, there's this thing called like recoil and kickback, and it's not going to be good for you if you do that shit. You would keep your face a little bit away from the scope. So anyway, my dad took me out to teach me respect for the tool, and I put my eye right up on the scope. You don't want to do that, boy. That's all he said. You know what I mean? That's all he said. He just said it once. You don't want to do that, boy. And Dad, whatever. I know that if I put my eye as close to the scope as I can see the target, and I fucking pulled the trigger. Yeah, I had what's called a shiner for about a week or so. You know what a shiner is?
No, it
Uh,
doesn't sound good.
no, it's a black eye. It's when you pull the trigger, and picture this in slow motion. You pull the trigger, and the kickback from the gun jolts the rifle forward and then back into your eyeball. Right?
Okay, imagining it in slow motion kind of made it
Yeah.
funny. Kind of
Boosh,
made it
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, just because you're imagining my head getting fucking kicked back by a rifle scope, douche.
I, I I'm seeing something I've wanted to do for many years.
Yes, I applaud that. But yeah, so and he, you know, and he wasn't being cruel or anything, but
No.
he wanted me to go. This is a weapon. This could be a weapon. It's a tool, but it's powerful. You respect this, and if you don't, you're gonna get a shiner, boy. And I'm glad I learned that. But anyway, when I came of age, and it was time for me to own my own pistol, my dad got me a Walther P99 because of our connection with James Bond, and I've carried it ever since. If you see me with my pants on, and even if you don't, it is
I,
within,
Daniel,
within a foot.
may I just say I hope I only ever see you with your pants on.
Me too, Dylan. But just so you know, even if I don't have pants on, that pistol is within reaching distance. I assure you, and it goes everywhere with me. And it's it's better to have it and not need it, and need it and not have it. And Walther P99 is a very efficient weapon. I will say that. Very cool gun. Very cool gun. Looks good. Feels good. Functionality's great. And there is no goddamn safety. And I love it. Love it. But anyway, so that's why I have a Walther P99. Does that answer your fucking question? You're muted. Dylan, come back. Come back, Dylan. Where'd you go? You keep running off. It's like this relationship is a yo-yo. You love me, you hate me, you let me go, you pull me back in. It's like a merry-go-round. It's like a hamster wheel of emotions. I don't want to get off, Dylan. Seriously, Dylan. Dylan. Seriously. I think you actually. Did you do it
Okay,
again?
so I figured out what's happening. We did
Tell us.
this. This happened during one of the live shows with Chuck a few weeks back.
Oh,
Um, Skype has this issue where it just randomly starts muting my mic.
fuck Skype. Why
And
the fuck with you?
well, it's happened to other people according to Chuck because he told me how to fix it, but it's been a month and a half, so I don't remember.
All right. Well, now I'm aware of it, and it's like, because I was like, Dylan, come back, Dylan. Dylan, but I
And
didn't mean it, Dylan. If I hurt thee, I apologize from the depths of my heart, Dylan. Please come back and talk about James Bond with me.
it
Oh,
happens at the most opportune moments, though.
yeah.
Maximum comedic effect.
Yeah, one day Dylan's going to be like, and the solution to free energy all over the world while curing cancer is.
Well, that is the correct answer.
Sorry, I couldn't hold my silence anymore. What the fuck? All right.
But no, you did answer my question. And we have another tangent video.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, so
I
that's
know.
why.
We've got 3 tangent videos and 1 Bond video.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, and the sound that the Walther P99 makes, ka-chunk. It's fucking great. Yeah, and there's like if there's a bullet in the chamber, because if you're looking down the sights, there's like this little piston and the piston is exposed, which means you're ready to rock and fucking ruin. If you don't see the piston, you probably better lock that bitch. Put a bullet in that chamber. It's kind of cool, dude. Walthers are awesome. Even the PPK. Had a PPK once. The little bitty ones that Sean Connery used to use. That's a cool gun. It's a motherfucker to clear it out if a bullet gets caught in the chamber. A little nerve-wracking because you have to do some James Bondish shit with it because it's an older, like World War II gun or whatever the fuck. But it's a very, very beautiful and efficient tool. Feels very good in your hands, as a tool. That's what I'm saying, Dylan. So, anyway, right.
Right.
Right. So anyway, in my humble opinion, when you're looking at the James Bond movies, specifically the Daniel Craig movies, you're actually, a lot of people look at like Harry Potter and, shows like The Magicians and, there's so many shows coming on now.
Okay. I do love The Magicians.
Me too.
The Magicians is fucking sweet.
It is. It's a pretty fucking epic show.
I'm not caught up. The Magicians is a fucking sweet show.
Yeah, and there's a lot of truth in that thing, but, not that I dabble in metaphysics or anything, I'm kind of a
Oh, you don't dabble in metaphysics.
Not at all.
You're not one of those hippie weirdos.
Nope. I have no idea what the multiverse looks like at all through several near-death experiences and leaving my body and coming back and then resuscitating after events where I should not have survived.
And then doing drugs.
I don't do drugs.
I know.
I don't do drugs, dude.
I know.
I take medicine.
Of course.
Yeah, and I'm my own minister, so.
How convenient.
Yeah, it's really convenient to be tax exempt on everything you do. You enjoy my church?
No.
Okay.
That would mean subscribing to a religion.
No, don't got one of those. No. No religion here. No,
Oh, that's good.
Awesomeness and cheesecake.
Ooh, cheesecake. I might have to reconsider this.
Right. We should be called the First Church of Cheesecakeia. I don't know.
I mean, cheesecake is everything.
Cheesecake is so fucking good, and this is coming from a guy who doesn't like sweets. I don't like sweets at all. But cheesecake is fucking good. That I only limit myself to like one slice of cheesecake every 2 or 3 years because it's so fucking good.
Dude.
But yeah.
Dude, the amount of discipline that requires is impressive.
I am impressively disciplined.
I would never even think about wanting to do that, but kudos. I couldn't do that if I wanted to.
Dude, I got an addictive personality. If I let if I get that horse ride, I'd be 5,000 pounds in 15 minutes with cheesecake, dude. I ain't even fucking around.
Dude,
fuck that noise.
I feel that. I have that personality. Why do you think I don't touch alcohol?
No doubt. Let's not go there. I didn't seen so many relapse rodeos. It's not even funny. But as they
and yet we're laughing about it.
Got to. What the fuck else are you gonna do?
Exactly. No. Hey, I can laugh at anything.
Good. Glad. That's why you're part of the fam.
Don't use the word fam.
Fam's not a good word? Is that 2019?
Weird word. It was weird when it was used everywhere.
In my defense, that is the first time I've ever used it. So
somehow I doubt that.
No, it's actually true. That's the truth. I have never. I'm a Virgo, so I'm actually calculating it right now, and I'm telling you, that is actually the first time I've ever used the word. And since it was met, yes, and since it was met with apprehension from somebody I mutually respect as a movie geek, then what I will do now is officially retire from my vernacular, ever fucking using fam again, because I played it, it didn't fucking work, it flopped. Dead. It's gone. It's just like the horse joke. It's gone.
Just like what joke?
The horse joke.
Oh.
Okay. Bond. Where the fuck are we at, dude? Oh, fuck. Skype is fucking with you.
Yeah, no. That time I actually muted and thought I was talking.
Oh, okay. What were
that time I was just being an idiot.
You're big enough to admit it.
Absolutely. No. Yeah, I don't know where we are. I have no idea actually.
Okay, well, we were talking about the Daniel Craig movies being, in my opinion, and this is just what I see, like looking at the magic of movies. I mean, you're a movie geek, I'm a movie geek. We both know that we can look at movies on a surface face level and enjoy them, and that's great. They probably are tapping into our subconscious and stuff like that. And kind of the more that you get into symbolism and esotericism and occult, is esotericism a fucking word? Or did I just make it
It
up?
sounds like you made it up,
And it,
but
but
I understand what you're going for.
yeah, and if I said it, it's a word.
Eh,
It's a word.
it's a
Fine.
sound.
Okay, let me say it so people can get it. If you're into the esoteric and you're into the occult and
There you,
symbology and numerology,
there you
then
go.
you can enjoy a film on face surface level for what it is, but it's like a Christmas present, a never-ending box of puzzles that you can actually unlock. Because it's, again, movies are coming from the collective unconsciousness. So you're in that motherfucker whether you like it or not. You know what I mean?
Okay,
You're
sorry, I want to take you on another tangent very, very, very briefly.
Let us go.
Have you seen The Prestige?
Yes.
I feel like that's a movie that we could dig into one of these times. It's one of my favorites.
Yes. Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman, right?
Yes, and David
Okay.
Bowie as Nikola Tesla.
Yes. Let's do that one day because yes, very occult.
And
But
on the surface level, very impressively made film.
very impressively made, yeah. And the title is like staring you in the face with the whole point of the movie. But anyway, we'll do the Prestige another night. Maybe next. Who knows? So,
Woo.
007, I mean, if you're into the occult and the esoteric, you can look into it. You can kind of unbox it. You can enjoy it for a movie, but it is telling those with eyes to see some deeper stuff. And my opinion is this, I'm a metaphysical kind of guy. I believe in, when I was a Baptist, I was trained in spiritual warfare. It's obvious that there's evil in the world. It's obvious that there's good in the world. It's obvious that they're trying to balance out. Therefore, you could say there is a conflict or a war of good and evil occurring. You know what I mean? I think that ancient religions who use things like angels could be telling a lot of literal stuff, but I think it's really for allegory for us to kind of conceptualize and wrap our heads around who we are here, what we're doing here, who other people are, how we're all interconnected, when we should disassociate, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why we love movies because movies always have this one thing conflict,
Hmm.
you know, always have
Yes.
conflict, right? And I think it's the filmmaker's hope. I mean, me as a creator and you as a creator, it's our hope that we can create a vessel for an audience or a person to get inside of and travel along a journey that we're trying to take them on. And it's no doubt the truth with movies. And it's no doubt, there's no coincidence that you have a lot of in my opinion, when the Jesuits kind of infiltrated the Freemasonic lodges in 1776, a lot of your Gnostics who were in the lodges kind of went out west to the hills of Hollywood. Hollywood is what a wizard or a sorcerer or a Celtic or a druid or a witch or whatever, anybody who uses wands to open circles and things like that in metaphysics, they would use typically the wood of a holly tree. And so you have Hollywood, movie magic, right? That shit's, it's right in your face. They're telling you what they're doing. It's a form of magic. And if you ask
I
me
mean,
what, go ahead.
I I think the idea of movie magic, now, just my perspective at least, is just kind of a metaphor. I don't know if it's actual magic. I would
Mm,
be surprised if it was actual magic.
it's magic. I mean, if you ask me what my definition of magic is, because I'll use words that are fluffy and fairy tale-ish, but I assure you that when I use those words, they're based in physics and quantum physics and math and fucking science, you know. But it's just what crowd you're talking to. If I'm with a bunch of Baptists, I'll use their lingo to communicate ideals because they're ideals, right?
Right.
Like for example, in Dan Brown's the Da Vinci Code stuff, he shows in the very beginning of the movie, he says this
I
symbol.
need to watch Da Vinci Code.
Yes, you do, because I forget the main character's name. Tom Hanks is he plays him, but in the very opening of the movie, he's like giving a seminar to a bunch of college students where he shows a swastika, and he asked the students, what does this bring up in your hearts and minds, or whatever the fuck, what does it mean to you? And people start shouting out fascism and Holocaust and murder. And then he zooms the picture out, and it's actually a seal on the foot of the Buddha, right?
Hmm.
And then he shows you, you know, a close up of somebody wearing a hood, a white hood over their face. And he says, what does this bring up in your hearts and minds? And like the Klan, you know, racism, bigotry, nooses. And then he zooms out, and it's actually like, you know, this very charitable organization in the Swiss Alps or some shit, like a bunch of nuns. And so his whole point is symbols and signs can mean one thing to one group of people, something completely different to another group of people. And then they also evolve through time. So symbols are like that weapon we talked about, the Walther or the tool. It just depends on who's using it and how it's interpreted and the energy that's coming behind the symbol. Movies are a very sophisticated symbol. They're moving symbols, they're moving glyphs. You're literally watching single frames, single images, single symbols that rapidly rush past your eye, creating the illusion of motion. So it's like a very advanced form of rune magic. If you know anything about rune magic or sigil magic, which
I
gets
don't.
to, well, it's all basically dealing that and tarot cards. Basically, there's really no power in the cards themselves, which is what I want to get into with Casino Royale, because Casino Royale, in my opinion, is walking the audience through. If you want to say, like, for example, Star Wars covers Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey from the perspective of the hero. Well, from Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, the hero always, once they get the call to adventure, they meet a spiritual guide, and typically it's a wizard, you know, like Gandalf or Obi-Wan. Okay, and then that spiritual guide or that wizard gives the hero about to go on the journey everything that they need. They equip them with the skills, the knowledge, and the abilities to go on their journey. And then they send them on their way, right? And then we follow the hero through the journey. You know, they go to the bottom of the circle, and where they have a death, burial, and resurrection. They come back up to the normal world and reset the status quo. Well, great. So if that's all of us that are going through that, as Joseph Campbell would suggest, and I would concur, that we all do play the role of the hero, and we all do get a call to adventure, and we have to go through this very similar cycle that movies echo back to us. What happens when you play that role so many times and you kind of get bored with it, which in my personal story I have? It's like, well, there's other characters that you can play, and maybe now that I've done the hero's journey so many fucking times, I want to play the part of the wizard. Okay, and I want to be that guy that ushers in new heroes and equips those new heroes with what they need to go on their journeys. I want to be the wizard for a while. It's my opinion. Whereas,
Well, in a story that spans multiple generations, many times the hero will become the wizard, as in Star Wars. Obi-Wan was the
mhm,
hero and became the wizard.
exactly. See, man, I knew you was smart. I knew you got peanuts up there. You
I
get
do.
it.
There are a couple peanuts up there.
Yeah, and so I don't believe that the Daniel Craig 007 movies are a hero's journey story. I believe it
No.
is actually the path of the wizard.
No,
That
and I mean, okay, I can't speak to the Path of the Wizard part, but it's not a hero's journey. It certainly isn't.
Nope, not a
Craig
hero's.
doesn't undergo any portion of the hero's journey.
No, he's going through something. That's why I love the Daniel Craig movies, and that's why I love the risks that they took and what they were trying to do. Because as somebody who does dabble in metaphysics, whenever I'm bored, I get it. I really,
Uh,
really get it.
Okay,
And
as somebody who's never seen a Bond film, can I ask a question?
you may, I allow it.
Have any of the Bond iterations gone through the hero's journey? Or
No.
do all of
I,
them?
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say at all, and I don't. I think that's because Bond is not supposed to be the vessel for a hero. He's supposed to be the vessel for
A force
the
of
the.
nature, like we talked
Uh,
about.
yeah, he's a force of nature. He's very yeah, but I think, like I said, it is the path of the wizard,
Right,
and
I didn't know if that was specific to Daniel Craig's iteration or to all of the Bonds.
Give me some time to think about the other Bonds because I'm just focused on the Daniel Craig Bonds
Cool,
because
sure. That was more of an off the top of my head curiosity.
I would say that no. There's the only one that I would say maybe would be George Lazenby's when Teresa Bond gets killed. But That's
Right.
a that's a long shot maybe. Yeah.
That's the only one I could think of, and I haven't even seen that, but based on the little bit I had heard from you, that seemed closest.
It's probably the closest, yeah, because that's the first time you really see an emotional engagement. And with the Daniel Craig movies, I think that it's implied that, like in the very beginning with the black and white, and he's not a double O agent because he's got to get two kills. In my opinion, that means two circles of the hero's journey. But that's just me, and I think that's what the double O also means is two journeys as the hero. And so basically, the movie to a metaphysician is saying, okay, he's already done the hero's journey. Now he's about to get 007 status, which is the eyes and the ears of the queen.
So,
Okay.
sorry, another question relating to Craig now.
Yes.
If he's the wizard, who is the hero that he's guiding?
That I'm positive that you're going to see that in No Time to Die. You're going to see that in No Time to Die.
Oh, with the okay.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the actress's name, but with her character.
Talking about the one that was from Blade Runner 20,000, whatever.
Yeah, hold on, let
Oh,
me look it up really quick.
oh, she was chiseled by goddess herself.
No Time to Die. Hold on.
She's Spanish.
Lashana Lynch.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it? She a Hispanic
Uh,
girl?
no, black girl.
Oh no, I'm
Um,
not talking about her. I'm talking about the new side chick that Bond's gonna have.
oh, Ana Darmus.
She's Spanish?
Yes, she is Spanish, and she is from Blade Runner 2049. I love
Yeah.
Ana Darmus.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when I saw her in the trailer for No Time to Die, I said, Bond's back in the saddle, motherfucker. Yeah.
And she's the lead in Knives Out, and it's a great movie.
Oh, Knives Out is fantastic. Daniel Craig did an excellent job in that as well.
That was a very different role for Daniel Craig, but he
Fucking,
pulled it off
oh,
incredibly.
God, I enjoyed the fuck out of Knives
He
Out.
was having so much fun.
Yeah, he was, man. He pulled the Southern accent off
The donut,
perfect.
the donut hole.
We got to do that one day. But no, so I think that Casino Royale is basically talking about the initiation of the wizard, and in a lot of your occult circles and stuff like that. Um, as the court wizard, we know 007 is all about queen and country. Well, when you can look at that on the physical plane and go, well, the queen in Buckingham Palace. And maybe even to an extent, Dr. John Dee was doing that with Queen Elizabeth I. But as metaphysicians who were able to tap into different frequencies of reality, they also were talking about the feminine aspect of divinity or
Mhm.
consciousness, if you will, if you don't like the word goddess, but it's the fucking goddess, okay? Um, because as you and I have discussed before, this planet's been under a lot of patriarchal bullshit for a while. Don't get me wrong, okay? I'm a man. I love my masculinity. I believe masculinity is a wonderful thing.
I am
However,
also a male, for the record, if anybody had any doubt.
do you enjoy your masculinity?
Um, I it's an odd question.
Yes,
Masculinity is what it is.
it is.
I don't think I enjoy it or hate it. It exists. It is part
I,
of me.
it is a part of you. You cannot detach yourself from it, no matter how much you identify with a toaster. You are not a toaster, Dylan. You're a man. God damn it. Anyway, so I digress. But anyway, so yeah, so with metaphysicians in the past few centuries, there's been a very, in the underground circles, there's been a very concerted effort to usher in, what everybody calls the age of Aquarius, which is very feminine, and it's supposed to bring about a balance. Because don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure that when patriarchy started, it started off with good intentions, and it started off well and made humanity make great leaps in progress. But like everything, over time, it will begin to degrade and become corrupted and do fucked up shit like crusades, like witch burnings, like world wars, like shit like that. You know what I mean? Does it mean that the masculine energy is bad? just means that it's a little tired and it might need to take a back seat. So metaphysicians and sorcerers and wizards and witches and druids and all that shit in the undercurrent, the underculture of the metaphysical world of play pretend have been pushing for this, bringing in the age of Aquarius, the age of the goddess divine. Even in Gnostic texts, which I commonly identify with being a Gnostic, which just means knower, it's not a religion. In most of their texts, it talks about the goddess Sophia, which means wisdom, wisdom. And that's also a throwback to the fact that the 007 looks like an owl. Wisdom, Sophia. So there really looks. I mean, if maybe I'm reading too much into it, but if it's there, it's there. I mean, you could all this shit. You could look it up and go, well, it's there. Should we put it together as a jigsaw puzzle or not? Well, that's up to you and whoever's listening. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? What you do with it. I might be right, I might be wrong, but it's like I said, it's my story to tell. But that's what I believe. I believe that Dr. John Dee at the time as 007 was an agent with very vested interest in assisting this planet and the collective consciousness towards a more right brain, intuitive, feminine energy. And he was assisting the queen, who we all know, people used to believe, and maybe still do, that the monarchy were vessels for the divine, because of their bloodline. So in a way, Dr. John Dee looked at Queen Elizabeth as the physical representation and emissary for the goddess. And so in his duty to the queen, he was ultimately doing duty to the mother goddess. And so that was the whole, go ahead, dude. Duty. You said duty. I said duty. Dignified lad.
God,
so,
we're children.
Yeah, and we all. Nev, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They can't sue because they're out of biz. See what I did there?
Ouch.
I know. Thank you,
Ouch.
Trump. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thanks, Donald Trump. I can't go to Toys R Us anymore, which is where I used to pretend I had kids and shit. But that shit in the cart's for me, motherfucker. Make no doubt. They're not action figures, they're collectibles, goddammit. I'm a grown man.
But of course.
Right. So, with 007 and Casino Royale, it's talking about the path of the wizard or the guardian and forerunner of the goddess. And that's where we were going to pick up with M and the character of M. But what I do want to preface is, again, on the esoteric, I find it very, very cool that they did make the risks with Casino Royale doing the entire second act about a card game, because in the path of the wizard, one of the first things that a wizard has to learn to be able to access the doors of perception is the deck of tarot, the tarot deck. Okay. Do you know much about the deck of the tarot deck or the tarot cards?
No. I know a little bit, but I don't know much.
Okay. Well, it's a nebulous history, and everybody's got their story. I got mine. But in my opinion, from what I know, from my experience in reading, whenever Egypt was going the way of the dodo, you had a bunch of refugees who were leaving. There's no doubt that the ancient Egyptians had some very sophisticated technology. These weren't dudes rolling rocks up with fucking logs. Get the fuck out of here. These were people who had the ability to do stellar cartography, well more advanced than we. These were people who were able to, make the Nile very fertile with free energy. Free energy. As far as I can look at it, it looks to me as if that's what the case was. Where they got this technology, who knows? I'm not saying aliens, but probably fucking aliens, but maybe not. Maybe time travel.
Aliens, give me a new body.
Yeah. Maybe. Hey, I got some friends up there. We'll make some calls. We'll do a transference just like they did in Picard. Put you in a golem. How about that? Yeah, you'll be playing paintball with me in no time.
Interesting.
Sure. Anyway, so what the fuck was I saying?
You were talking about the pyramids.
Oh yeah, the pyramids. So anyway, yeah, they had high technology. There's no doubt about it. And if you think otherwise, you get the fuck out of here. You're a moron. But anyway, as all civilizations eventually erode over time, you had Egyptian refugees, and it was incumbent upon them to hide the knowledge that they had, hide the technology and the methods of that technology in encoded shit, and then travel throughout Europe until they could find a home. And we call those guys gypsies. And gypsies are known for wandering around. They typically were immune from any of the edicts of the monarchy. typically monarchies are like, leave those fucking dudes alone for whatever reason. Maybe we should look at that. I don't know. But gypsies were wanderers, and the word gypsy comes from Egyptian. So they actually, from what I can tell, those are the ones who really introduced the tarot deck into European culture and then ultimately American culture. Because when the white folk would be like, hey, what you shuffling there? Okay. The gypsies didn't want to tell them. Actually, it's a very sophisticated piece of software that allows the person using it and the person that is subject to the reader to access the technology inside of their cerebral cortex to open up doors to access probably way more than 10% of brain function and maybe previous incarnations or future incarnations or just an uberverse that is limitless without any limitation whatsoever, and your thoughts can take you anywhere ever. That's kind of what we're doing. It's just a piece of technology that we just put on these cards right here. They don't want to tell them that shit because you don't want everybody opening up those doors of perception. You know what I mean? Because they could be fucking around in the uberverse, and you don't want everybody doing that shit because
People are
reference
morons.
yeah, reference Doctor Strange. Too many sorcerers, too many people touching source that don't know what the fuck they're doing, or they're doing it with malicious intent and they're causing disharmony in the collective consciousness. Duh, duh. So the gypsies were like, we're not telling these motherfuckers what this is. So they had to come up with this, they had to pass it off. They say, it's just a game. It's just a game. And then, eventually they started creating card games like poker and shit like that. And then eventually the 72 cards of the tarot went down to what, 52 in a standard playing deck. And so when you're actually playing cards, poker or pinochle or whatever the fuck, you're actually on a subconscious, unconscious level tapping into the deck of tarot, which is a very sophisticated computer program to hack your own mind. That's what it is. I mean, duh. Pick up Carl Jung's Man and His Symbols and read it. Pick up Aldous Huxley's Doors of Perception and read it. This is all technology. You can call it magic, you can call it wizards, but it's actually science. You know what I mean? Does that make sense, or am I off my fucking rocker?
I mean, Daniel, I don't know. You sound off your rocker, but
But
I
does it
also
make
don't
sense?
know. I mean, I just don't know enough. I mean, I haven't done enough reading. So
Well,
it all
okay.
sounds accurate.
Sounds pretty good, right? I mean,
But
we are
I
biological
some
machines, are we not?
something can sound accurate and also
I'm
insane.
I'm not building a church, okay?
I know.
But are we or are we not biological machines?
Oh, we are absolutely.
So we're just like the physical terminals that are sitting in front of you and I, the desktop, okay, the monitor, okay. So with no power going to it, if it's not plugged into the wall, it's just a piece of plastic and some crystals inside of a screen. Um,
Yes.
okay, so we're gonna plug it up to the source. We're gonna plug it up to power. It's gonna boot up. Okay, and so now it's got power. Now it's got chi. Now it's got prana. Now it's in the force. Now it's within the Maya or the matrix. It's powered up. So great. That's when we're like little kids and we're born. It's there, it's got power, but there's no data inside of it. There's no software in the hardware. So then you install it. That's our ego, that's our consciousness, that's our identity. Typically, it's given to us. It's your name on your birth certificate. It's what race you are. It's what sex you are. It's what financial class you come from. It's whatever. That's the initiatory programming. That's the software. Bam. Okay, that's you. That's your ego. That's the who am I inside of your head. Software. We're biological computers, and our consciousness is software from programmers outside of us because we didn't program it. So this is logical leapfrog. I mean, it's not crazy. It's just
No, I mean, a lot of it is logical leapfrog.
yeah.
Um, I think when you get to playing war with cards is tapping into the tarot. I think you've done logical leapfrog maybe a step too far for
Well,
my understanding.
well, bear
But
bear with me. Bear with me. Okay.
oh, Daniel, I've been bearing with you for an hour. I'm gonna keep bearing with you.
Oh, you're my best friend. You're not, but You are?
Ouch.
I'm just joking with
I'm wounded.
you. My best friend wears a skirt. Anyway,
Yeah, I
uh,
don't wear a skirt.
no, don't do that.
I don't plan to.
Summer dresses might look good, but not a skirt.
No, skirt would be a poor fashion choice for me.
We are the most professional podcasting people ever.
Can you even call what we're doing right now a podcast?
Is it fun?
Yeah, I'm having fun.
I'm having fun.
This is two rambling madmen.
It is. It's great. Anywho, the te- so no, I don't think it's like logical lop freak. Jesus, logical leapfrog. I don't think it is because if you let's say you install Windows version 1 on your hardware, okay, well it can operate within that programming and whatever, and then it's time for an update. So you have to install new software to update the hardware of your body, which is your ego. So and this typically happens with experience in life. You get upgrades periodically in your
Hmm.
life, and everybody can kind of look at their life typically in 7 year periods and go, wow, I got to upgrade. Wow, there's a cycle there. Wow, I feel like I went from Windows 1 to version 2.0 or whatever the fuck. So um, it's my belief that if we're using computer and technology terminology to talk about very Buddhist concepts, which these are, then it stands to believe that there's always a hack where you can jump, you can update or upgrade way past other people. This is what Buddhists would call enlightenment. This is what Hindus would call samhadi, nirvana, salvation, whatever. It's all these are all just beautiful words to talk about a concept that's very hard to put into words. So we do the best we can. Buddhists like to use the word
Okay.
ineffable, which means there are no words for what we're talking about. That's why Christ, when he was teaching, dude, if he was walking around today, he'd be using movies to give his lessons because he's like, how the fuck am I supposed to take these heavenly, well beyond 5 sense concepts and experiences and bring it down into this holographic simulation with these four-dimensional beings? What the fuck can I reference? So he would use stories, he would use parables. And that's why you always hear him saying, the kingdom of heaven is like this. Well, if it was today and he was trying to talk about these spiritual concepts of good versus evil, spiritual warfare, wisdom, love, agape love, phileo love, all these types of things, he would reference movies. He would have to because he's trying to get people to upgrade as quick as they can. And he uses what he has. So he would be using movies today, which I think is funny because like the fundamentalist Christian circles hate movies. They fucking hate them.
Oh, okay. I don't want to get too far off on this tangent. Fundamentalist Christians would hate Jesus.
Yeah, they'd fucking kill him.
Yeah, they hate him.
They would fucking kill him. And the reason why I saw, you know that cheap painting that's like dogs playing poker or pool.
Yes.
I saw a painting one time that was in that like fashion of white Jesus, um, hanging out with a bunch of gangbangers drinking 40s of malt liquor, playing tonk or spades, in the ghetto. And I'm like, that's accurate. But if fundamentalist Christians were to, yeah, you're right, dude. If Christ came back today and did his Christ stuff, and they saw it, they would fucking kill him.
Yeah, and if they didn't kill him, they'd call him a dirty communist hippie.
A dirty communist hippie, drug addict, wine bibbing demoniac. And then they would have him 1013, forcibly committed against his will, to be put in a rubber room where then he would make people who can't walk and make people who can't see, and then he'd be a pimp. And then he'd come out and he'd do his Mary Magdalene thing and just,
Well, maybe I should hope they do this then.
I'd make a really good, like if I were a director, I'd make a really great modern Christ movie. It'd be great.
Have you seen the Netflix show?
No, I started it and I was like, not today, Netflix. I got to finish The Magicians.
Oh, I've heard it's really good.
I,
The Jesus show.
I'll let you know. Maybe they ripped that concept off from me. Either way, let's get back to James Bond, the tarot.
By the way, we've only got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, so we're going to have to bookmark this shit again. But
This
that's
is
okay.
what happens with us.
But that's fine. We got a lot of great stuff. Yeah, this will make a lot of great quick trips out of context. But anywho, so no, with Casino Royale being the path of the wizard, it makes sense to me that they're going to use basically the tarot deck because that is typically the initiation of a wizard. And like we're talking about software upgrades, it's my opinion. After you read Carl Jung and his Man and His Symbols, have you read that?
No.
I highly recommend that, Dylan. I highly recommend you read Man and His Symbols by Carl Jung
I'm
because
looking it up.
it's like after you read it, it's like opening up your eyes like Neo to where you can see the code and you will never be able to unsee the code ever again after you read that book.
I've pulled it up.
Yes. Read
Um,
that book and that's your homework. But so knowing that and having read that book, I understand that what the tarot is a very sophisticated hacking program that allows a reader and to access parts of their subconscious mind that otherwise they would not be able to. Um, so we know we're a biological machine. We know that we have software or consciousness or ego. There are updates and upgrades. We know that because we have experience. So therefore there are upgrades. We learn.
I would liken it instead of updates to more a virus protection software.
I'll talk to my people on the moon uh, from a flat Earth. No, by the way, I'll get off of that.
Daniel, you're
Yeah,
not a flat earther, are you?
I'll talk about that in just a second. But hang on.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and at least get to the tarot. But no, I believe that Casino Royale is basically walking us through. Craig has already went through the hero's journey. He's entering into the path of the wizard, and the path of the wizard, typically the initiatory steps are to access the doors of perception in the internal consciousness of a person via the symbols and the signs of the tarot that tap into your genetic memory um, of your ancestors to be able to have their abilities and their skills at will because they're all inside of us. All of us are walking libraries of Alexandria. We literally do have the experiences, the thoughts, emotions, skills, hang-ups, all that stuff of our ancestors. And like from that movie Amistad, when the main character, don't remember his name, he says, right now, I am the entire reason that all of my ancestors existed. That's a very true statement. And that's true for me and it's true for you. Right now, Dylan, all of your ancestors, the entire point of their existence was for you. And all of them are inside of you. Everything that they recorded with their consciousness while they were walking this planet is literally stored inside of your DNA. And so then knowing that, we go, well, that kind of makes like internal issues interesting to look at now, which we'll get at. But it means that if you know how, you can tap into those codons and pull up skills and abilities that are inside of you, because they are. You have centuries and centuries of evolution of potential inside of you. We all do. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't want to pursue accessing that. But that's evolution and whatever it is. But that's, in my opinion, what the tarot deck is. It allows a person to do it. And that's why some people who dabble with the tarot and they're not balanced, Dylan, that when they don't have the fourfold nature, is what we call in metaphysical circles, you don't have your fourfold nature balance, the mind, the body, and the emotions and the spirit, then I have seen people fuck around with the tarot deck and go slap out of their goddamn minds and do fucked up shit. I mean, one day they're completely normal, quote unquote, and then they're like, I think I'm going to go play with some tarot cards because I saw it on Magicians. And then they go fucking nuts because they were not prepared to open the doors of perception of genetic memory. And this is where a lot of reincarnation comes in too. People go, I was Cleopatra. No, you're not.
You were
You,
likely a peasant.
I mean, you got Cleopatra inside your DNA, perhaps. Don't be confused with, like, if you unlock a past life or basically a zip file of an ancestor in your DNA, where people get confused with reincarnation is they go, I am Cleopatra. No, you're not. You're you. You are a unique cut of the diamond that perhaps recorded the experiences of an ego named Cleopatra. And so, like, whenever you first do tap into past lives and memories, it's really, really overwhelming, hypothetically. Not saying I've done it, but I have, because you go, I was fucking Adolf Hitler. Okay? And you have to fucking deal with that. I was Vlad Tepes. I took long spikes and put them up people's buttholes and let them die over days. And you go, I did that. But then you can take a deep breath and go, but I was also Buddha. I was also Christ. I was also Krishna. And so it's cool to, I mean, you have to face yourself. You have to face the darkness and the light when you start tapping into those doors of perception. And that's where I think people get wiggy about reincarnation and don't really understand it, is they think that they are these people from history, and then they get into that ego, and it's like, no, you're not. You're you. You're whoever you want to be. You may have their memories. You may be able to feel what they felt, but you're not that individual. That individual was a point in time, a needle on a record that you share a vibration with, but you're not them.
Yeah, I mean, just the idea that we are who we used to be. I don't even subscribe to the idea of reincarnation, but if I did, I mean, it still doesn't make sense that we just are who we used to be. Otherwise, there would be another Hitler already.
Well, I mean, ultimately, when you boil down any spiritual school, Dylan, all of the other peripheral stuff, like reincarnation and angels and demons and whatever the fuck, it really all boils down to, I think, Socrates or Plato. He says we're all brains in vats. Ultimately,
Yeah.
all of us, if we're conscious, we are in God, of God. It's in us. We are it. We are just fragmented. Some of us are aware that we are all God in skin suits, and some of us fucking aren't. Some of us want to take it outside of ourselves, put it on an icon, put it on a person, put it on a messiah, to take responsibility off of ourselves that, hey, it's like Led Zeppelin said, nobody's fault but mine. You did it, you know. But anyway, that's a long story. But I think that, like, whenever you do see people play with the tarot and then they fucking go nuts, it's because they unlock some doors they weren't prepared to deal with. And they go fucking nuts. But if you've already gone through the hero's journey at least twice, double O, then you are balanced enough to go, okay, now it's time to really get into the good shit and go behind the machinery and the curtain where the wizard's at and look at how this shit's working. And you better be ready for it. And one of the ways that you open those doors is through reading the tarot, because it's a computer program. It's a sophisticated computer program that's been passed down to us. And that's why I think they chose Casino Royale to be this reboot of, honestly, the entire series of the Craig movies. The overarching is the path of the wizard. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Thank y'all. And so we shall bookmark it there. I shall shut my fucking mouth and let you close out the Zen in the Car popcorn politics orgy type thing.
Are we closing it out, or are we just sort of pretending that we didn't end the discussion and do
What's
some
going to be
tricky
best?
editing?
Maybe. What's going to be best for clickbait?
Mm.
Because I do want to say something about flat Earth.
All right. Let's say. All right. Can I just say something about flat Earth as well?
Yeah, close out 007, and
All
then we'll
right.
talk flat Earth.
All right. That concludes our discussion of Casino Royale for the moment. I have no doubt we'll be back at it tomorrow. And now Daniel and I are going to talk about the flat Earth.
Yeah. Did you think we'd be able to dig at least another hour, so 3 total hours out of a movie that's only 2 hours long? Did you think we were going to be able to dig that much out of it?
Daniel, we've only talked about this movie for like an hour and 10 minutes
Oh, I know,
out of the 2 hours we've been talking.
but it's taking us on all these wonderful little trips around the
I
lake.
know. I know. We are going down so many wonderful tangents.
Wonderful tangents. What's so fucked up is I'm looking over at the timestamp, because as we're doing Casino Royale, I'm watching the movie and pausing it at points I want to make points. I'm only at 23 minutes on the mark.